And I know I'm gonna piss some people off right now who are gonna take this personally. Hey Sterile Processing Professionals, Brandon the Sterile Guy here. In today's video, I want to talk about the #1 problem we have in sterile processing across the nation. For the last 6 years, high-level disinfection and sterilization processes have shown up in the top 6 of Joint Commission findings nationwide. And in the last 2 years, so 2021 and 2022, sterilization and HLD have been #1 problem. Now, Joint Commission inspects roughly 3,800 hospitals and acute care facilities within the United States. And they have this endless book of standards that must be followed that includes things from all the different departments and different standards through the hospital, such as like egress and fire marshal stuff and infection control stuff that is universal to the entire hospital. But how is it that one single standard, HLD and sterilization processes, makes #1? Roughly around 150,000 people within the United States get a surgical site infection every year. And somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 of those people die from surgical site infections. That is awful. Yes, there can be lots of other reasons besides sterile processing why surgical site infections are a problem. You could have poor technique in the operating room. You could have complications in bowel surgery. You can have surgical patients come in with penetrating wounds or like a compound fracture. And honestly, it can also have a lot to do with a patient's preoperative plan and stuff they should be doing with like cleaning the area and whatnot so many times a day, but also their post-operative care for that area and wound care. And then lastly, a patient's hygiene in general. But if you really think about it, how many of those roughly 150,000 surgical site infections are caused because of improper sterilization and high-level disinfection? I would take a guess with the consistent findings across the United States with sterilization and high-level disinfection issues and improper protocols and standards for doing them, I would take a guess that the cause being from sterile processing is probably pretty high. Unfortunately, by the time infections develop, those instruments that were used on that patient may have been used over and over and over again in between on other patients. It's not like we can isolate every single instrument set that is used on a patient to see if a patient develops an infection and then test whether it came from those. We don't have that ability. That's just not the way it works. That's why a lot of infections that are truly from sterile processing go completely unsolved. Do you want to know what the absolute true problem is? It's sterile processing leadership. And I know I'm gonna piss some people off right now who are gonna take this personally. But honestly, if this is you and you're a poor leader, then please, please, please take it personal. This field is plagued with sterile processing leaders who don't have a lot of experience either in sterile processing itself and leadership alone, but also that they may be lazy, they may refuse to be educated, they aren't good advocators for your department and for your personnel, and honestly probably just shouldn't be working in sterile processing, because I would guesstimate that 1/3 of all sterile processing leaders cannot at any time jump on the floor into any position in sterile processing and perform that job with accuracy and efficiency. So how are you gonna train and hold techs accountable for stuff you cannot even perform? Now, I'm not bragging here. I just wanna set a model of leadership that you should be following. I always kept myself up to date with the standards, the processes, the equipment we have, the IFUs, how to run our equipment, everything, so that I could step in and do any job in sterile processing if necessary, to give a lunch break, to just cover someone who is out sick, or just to provide some relief to my technicians. If you're sitting in an office all day, every day, you are not providing value to this organization. The fact is, this is a huge problem, and way too many people are dying from complications that arise from our field of responsibility. Techs need consistent and accurate training. And I'm not talking about the training where we invite a rep in every week who provides donuts and talks about their single tray and how best to put it together so we don't lose the instruments. Those, yes, can be very valuable and morale building if people like donuts or coffee or whatever else it brings in. But I'm talking about the basics. Are you going over sterilization parameters with your techs on a regular basis? Are you talking about the different colors of the biologicals and what the different cycles those support? Are you talking about the different inspection procedures on different types of instruments and truly what to look for? Are you holding techs accountable and making sure that their dosing of enzymatics and detergents is correct, that their water temperatures are correct, that they're actually scrubbing the instruments and cleaning them before they go into the instrument washer instead of just receiving clinic stuff and instead of cleaning it in the sink, just throwing it in the washer and being like, I don't feel like doing that right now? Are you holding techs accountable, and are they receiving the education and the experience and the accountability and the support that they need? Are you providing the appropriate supplies and the appropriate equipment to accomplish the work you're asking them to do? And lastly, are they properly staffed so that they don't feel this tremendous burden to cut corners just to meet some type of efficiency standard that you may be holding or your leaders above you, and you need to fight against that. Sterile processing leaders, if you're not performing, then get out of the way so that someone else can. Step up or step off. Patients' lives are depending on it. I predict this video is going to bring some hurt feelings, but honestly, I don't care. It is time to turn this ship around and get sterile processing out of the top 10 of Joint Commission problems. Any topics or videos you want to see, don't hesitate to leave me a comment. Like and subscribe, please. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.